Ashley Haig. In my excerpt, I've actually cut and pieced together sections from a single chapter of The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. For those of you who aren't familiar about it, Corrie ten Boom and her family were arrested in 1944 by the Gestapo for harboring Jewish families in an upper room that they constructed behind Corrie's bedroom wall. Now, the family that was there during that time were able to escape 3 days later, but Corrie ten Boom and her entire family were transported to a holding cell, a holding prison called Scheveningen, where this excerpt takes place. This is Corrie's personal account of her experience in solitary confinement. So without further ado, The Hiding Place. In only one way was this new cell an improvement over the first one. It had a window. 7 iron bars ran across it, 4 bars up and down. It was high in the wall, much too high to look out of, but through those 28 squares I could see the sky. All day I kept my eyes fixed on that bit of heaven. Sometimes clouds moved across the squares, white or pink or edged with gold. And when the wind was from the west, I could hear the sea. Best of all, for nearly an hour each day, gradually lengthening as the spring sun rose higher, a shaft of checkered light streamed into the dark little room. As the weather turned warmer and I grew stronger, I would stand up to catch the sunlight on my face and chest, moving along the wall with the moving light, climbing at last onto the cot to stand on tiptoe in the final rays. The prison expert in the first cell had taught me to make a kind of knife by rubbing a corset stay against the rough cement floor. It seemed to me strangely important not to lose track of time. And so with a sharp bone stay, I scratched a calendar in the wall behind the cot. As each long, featureless day crawled to a close, I crossed off another square. I also started a special record of dates beneath the calendar. February 28th, 1944, arrest. February 29th, 1944, transport to Scheveningen. March 16th, 1944, beginning of solitary. One evening, as I was crossing another long, long day from the calendar scratched on my wall, I heard shouts far down the corridor. They were answered closer by. Now noisy voices came from every direction. How unusual for prisoners to be making a racket. Where were the guards? I pressed my ear to the shelf of my door and listened, but it was hard to make sense of the tumult outside. Names were being passed from cell to cell. People were singing, pounding on their doors. The guards must all be away. What's happening? Where are the guards? At the party. It's Hitler's birthday. Then, these must be their own names, people were shouting down the long corridor. This was our chance to tell where we were, to get information. I shouted names until I was hoarse and heard them repeated from mouth to mouth down the long corridor. I passed names too, to the right and left, as we worked out a kind of system. And after a while, some of the names that I had shouted out began to return. Betsy ten Boom is in cell 312. She says to tell you that God is good. Oh, that was Betsy. That was every inch Betsy. News from the men's section was longer in returning, but as it did, my heart leapt higher and higher. As far as I could discover, every single one taken in the raid on the Beige, with the exception of Betsy, had been freed. Only about Father can I discover no news at all, although I called his name over and over into the murmuring hall. No one seemed to have seen him. No one seemed to know. It was the 3rd of May. I was sitting on my cot, sewing. I had just started the work on the head of a cat over the right pocket of my pajamas when the food shelf in my door banged open and shut with a single motion. And there, on the floor of the cell, lay a letter. I dropped the pajamas and sprang forward. Nolly's writing. Why should my hand tremble as I picked it up? The letter had been opened by the censors, held by them too. The postmark was over a week old. But it was a letter from home, the very first one. Why this sudden fear? I unfolded the paper. Corrie, can you be very brave? No, I couldn't be brave. I forced my eyes to read on. I have news that is very hard to write you. Father survived his arrest, but only 10 days. He is now with the Lord. I stood with the paper between my hands so long that the daily shaft of sunlight entered the cell and fell upon it. Father. The letter glittered in the crisscross light as I read the rest. Nolly had no details, not how or where he had died, not even where he was buried. Dear Jesus, how foolish of me to call for human help when you are here. To think that Father sees you now, face to face. To think that he and Mama are together again, walking those bright streets. I pulled the cot from the wall, and beneath the calendar scratched another date. March 9th, 1944. Father released.